So a couple of you reached out to us mentors and are saying that you're having a difficult time in processing and probably going to be having a difficult time starting this exercise, converting the form into architectural drawings. We gave you the model, of course, and we already taught you how to operate in 3D. And if you hold Shift, for example, and your middle mouse button, you can rotate around, and you can do this with also with the view cube, right? So the front can be seen also if you take a look. If you click onto the corner, you may find that you could go into isometric modes, and you could see what these sides are. And of course, we already taught you also how to slice this. For example, if I determine that this is 3.5 meters for the second floor, and I am going to slice it as L, slice, and then XY plane is chosen right here. So that's my 3.5 somewhere here. It's somewhere there. So it's zero point 0.5 meters from this point. And if I shift right click from, which is a reference from, this is, I know for a fact that this is 3 meters, and I click it once, and then I go up and I punch in the value 0.5, and both sides I press enter once. So that gives me that slice, and of course I can move this up. So the first thing that you need to know really is the outline and the measurements of some of these things for the second floor. For the ground floor, this, and you could probably start measuring the dimensions here. So if I'm going to start out with my sketch, so I'm going to be sketching here, and I'm going to draw a square. So a square is relatively easy. Of course, you're going to be using a scale to measure this. And the recommended scale that you're going to sketch is going to be 1:100, not 1:50. 1:50 is too big and it's going to be tedious, and then you're going to be distracted in just concentrating on so many details. So a 1:100 is smaller, of course, half the size of a 1:50. And here I'm going to sketch this into a plausible 10 by 10 meters. So the entire thing is 10 by 10. And if I'm going to present a plan, the front side of the building is going to be always facing the bottom of the paper. And that's a standard thing in architectures. And now I can probably just jot down the measurements that are relative to this. I want this distance, so I'm going to press DI for distance, and that's 3 meters. So I start encoding this, and then there's a 3-meter gap. So how do I, okay, so you can subdivide your measurements into such, like you can subdivide this into 5 equal parts. Of course, when you're using scale, it's easier. So I'm going to subdivide this by I. Here, 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 and then there. So 10 segments. Per one segment is representative of 1 meter in this case. So there's just one. So another thing that you could do actually is to change the visuals. So you can do this with wireframes, and you can rotate around. You can see what the outlines are, but some of you might be confused with this. And there's wireframe, and then there's realistic. Okay, so other things like conceptual. Okay, so sketchy. That can work out. Okay, so if this is sketchy and hidden, if you can, that makes you understand the outlines better. That could work. Okay, so DI depth of this one. And then for the second floor, you could do the same sketching. So this is just deciphering the form, and you're trying to somehow have a general outline of what the areas are. And basically, if you can just take the entire ground floor as one floor, and these are just walls that you could, these are going to be 0.2 meters of wall thickness. So the exterior is exactly 10. Then you go inside and or offset by 0.2 meters, and that becomes the thickness of your walls. And of course, you may not follow also like these. I'm going to change my color so that you can see what I mean. So these can be openings. That can be an opening, and these are going to be walls. Like, and if you look at the model, you can see how high that is. That's relatively 2 meters high of wall, and then probably these are the windows that I can translate them into windows. So this is telling me that the windows are going to be there. And then if I measure this, DI, that to that, so another 5 meters. And that gives me this. So this is window. You can start marking up these areas. So really, a schematic sketch is this. It's not, it's figuring out things in just sketching, and then you don't exactly go into drafting first, because if you haven't figured out these things, it becomes difficult for you to decipher. So you're understanding first the problem by sketching. So you got the parameters. You're deciphering this where the windows are already, or these openings are, and then like here it's telling me that it's going to be an overhang somewhere there. Another window possibility is this. So I take that, I measure that, and how far that is to there. Then that gives me information here, which is 3 meters. So I start from the first meter here. I count 3 meters, and that gives me this thing. So it's going to go in and gives me that. So the lines basically here can be discounted or not considered because it's in the interior side. Now, if you look at the other side, okay, you can see a bit more openings. So we see that there's somehow an opening here, right there. So if I try to measure that, that's another 3 meters. This could be probably just a low wall. And you start marking out low wall because there's an opening. So I want this to be like a thing here. And then there's this taller wall here, which is that. If I measure that, and that gives me the Y, which is 2 meters. So it's here. And then if I go to the rear, and the upper part is a window somewhere there. And if I measure that again, 3 meters, which is somewhere there. 1, 2, 3. And then that's another 2 meters. 1, 2. So there's a window. There's the wall. So if I go to take a look at the rear, this goes in a bit. Okay, so that gives me how many meters of Z? And I look at the Z. Okay, just 1 meter. That's not enough for a headroom. So I can modify that part with something because it cannot be something like that. But it goes in this thing. So I can raise it up a bit by another meter. So that gives me 2 or plus more. And this one goes in by 1 meter. And then so therefore there's this thing like a wall or something. It's an open space. So I could now make decisions what the spaces are going to be inside a bit better. I could decide, that this is going to be a wall. That's going to be a wall. This goes in. Probably this is going to be like a door. One door which is 1 meter. Somewhere about. So the main door could be recessed also in the front, going in like so. So that's 1 meter there. So I could probably place in the main door to be going like this over here. Now this gives me all these things, now this information. So and like this is a possibility for, let's say, a lanai of some sorts or an open area. If I go in roughly 2 meters, so I can probably decide that this is going to be like an open air type lanai or hangout place. So I can go in much deeper here. This gives me all these spaces, and then you start deciding like where the staircase is going to be. So if before doing that, you need to decipher the second floor outline of flooring. So it's a bit more complicated here. So you could place in a tracing paper or any hopia paper over this, or you could just replicate this first this image. Please do not name these things as first floor. For example, the ground floor is not the first floor. The term first floor is more of the British colonies. Their standards they're a bit different than ours. So when they say first floor, it's actually meant second floor for us. So we designate, or we call the first level as ground. So we could name this as such, ground, not the first floor. The second floor is our second floor. Go back to black. Try to do the same thing. And then, of course, you decipher what these are. So you would be confused on what to do with this line. Well, we could eliminate that, and this becomes like a solid floor. When we translate this, subdivide this into 10 equal parts, and then this is my 1 meter. It goes in the outline for the second floor, and then there is that. I measure this. This is 3 meters. So on the 1 meter here going in, and then another 3 meters going this way. So it gives me this outline for the second floor on the front side. And then if I press my shift and press my middle mouse button or the wheel mouse, and I can rotate. There's that. So that's 2 meters over here. It goes in by another meter, and then another 2 meters going that way. So that gives me this outline for a flooring for the second floor on this side. And if I do it like this, okay, goes in 2 meters, goes like that, like 2 meters. It gives me another 2 meters of a gap, going like that. That goes in. So here, I would consider this as, if I take a look at the upper level, as one tall window. Measure this. That's 3 meters. 1, 2, and 3. There's 1 meter gap. So I'm going to change my color of my pencil. I can see what I need to see. So these are the this is the outline for the second floor. This is window. Of course, these are voids, considered as voids already. So I could probably give, like, the symbol for a void would be something like this here. And if I take a look around here, so that's my front. That's the level there. Is there an upper, and then this is the upper level. So this is what you can work on now already. So you can see pretty much like possible walls. I don't know what you need to do with this yet. And then this could be an opportunity for a balcony somewhere here, but it's like recessed a bit. And this entire thing could be a balcony. I don't know yet. And then where can I place in my staircase? So I'm looking at this, and then so I have 3 meters here. Now, a good staircase is, okay, if we go back to what was learned from the lesson on staircase, the basics. So this is relatively 2.4 meters because this is 2.4. If you subdivide this into 8 equal spaces, you have the steps. That gives you about 9 times 2, 18 plus 1, 19 steps. That's a basic 3.2, but this is higher, so probably there's going to be 2 more extra steps. Well, you need to check the calculations on that if it's going to be between the riser. It's going to be between 0.175 meters to 0.185 meters. So you have to check on that. So this gives me like another 0.3. That would be 2.7. And this, if you're taking this as 1, this is my stair volume. That's a 3.7 by, say, 2 meters. So you could relatively take a look at where you can place the staircase in conjunction with each floor. Okay, of course, I haven't considered yet the third level. I mean, I haven't sketched it out. Probably I should do that. But right now I can decipher this. So I could probably give this volume for, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, going like this, and a possible staircase volume is going to be there. So if this is going to be 1 meter and this is the landing, that could be the place to have your staircase volume. So this could be going up. So the right way to do this is this, and then it cuts here because these are upper. Just place it there. And if this is going to be reflected here, where the staircase is supposed to be the volume, it could be here, the same. So this is a plausibility of a staircase. This could be the anteroom or the foyer. Of course, don't discount on other possibilities where the staircases are. It could be here also, on this spot. Okay. You could use this also as your staircase if the layout isn't pleasant. If with this configuration where this iteration of where your staircase is, but do not skimp out on the area for the staircase. All right, as much as possible, we want something that is standard and safe to use. Don't shortcut it and say that it's smaller than this area type, and that becomes unusable. We could always tell that it's not going to work when you are going to create these sections for this. Okay, as far as the third level is concerned, let's have a cut. Say after this, I cut somewhere relatively 3.2 meters here. Okay, so if I measure the distance between this and that, 3.5, another 3.5. But if I'm going to create something like, okay, that can work also. So I can probably slice from here on this corner. I'm going to choose the object, choose XY, cut from this point, keep both sides. I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to move this up, and I can see this. And if I take a look at what where my front is, yes, can. So this is, so far, this is the first level or the ground, and then the second level volume would be this, and the third floor volume is going to be that, this configuration. So right now I can safely say that, you know, there's this thing here. So if I take a look at here, there's going to be a wall up to there. Let me see if I can viably use this for my third level. That's 6 meters. So it's here on the second level. So that's going to be my third wall up. And that does not give me enough space, because this is going to be, my staircase is going to be 4 meters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could safely say, okay, it's viable that this is going to be where I'm going to step off the staircase on the third level, and then I could use this space on the third level as for something. So this is going to be big enough for something like a bedroom, and this could be something like a workspace. And then on the third level, you have this void here. Take a look at here. Well, you can figure out that, you know, on the second level, this is going to be like a glass window type where sunlight can come in over here on the second level. And you could start, you know, putting in plausible furniture layouts, but in scale. So you could probably, okay, I'm going to change to another color. So you could relatively use colored pencil into marking up, you know, certain things that you can, or you use layers of tracing paper. So right now I can say foyer is here. You go up through here, up, and then plausible kitchen, and then plausible living room, dining. So service could be here. It could be like you have a toilet and bath. Then you go up to the second level. So this is your house. It's up to you to decipher what it is that you want. So of course, on the second level is mainly meant for privacy. So this is probably a bedroom, and you can place a workstation here, and then lounge area, or you could have your walk-in room here, and then this is a plausible TNB. So when you're here, this is actually going down. This is where you go down. So its staircase is something like this. This is the bedroom, walk-in room. So you could start out with like something like this, and then of course, if you want to have a third level, you can do so. Again, of course, using the same stair volume. If you have a third floor, the way you're going to be drawing your staircase on each floor would be a bit different. So here I'm going to make a cut. This is going down. Another cut here. Now look at the examples that I made. You could see, how stairs are illustrated relative to each level. So this is going up on the second level, on the third, rather. So this is down. So in here, it's going up all the way. And then there's a cut because it's an upper part of the stairs. Of course, each type of iteration would affect the areas of the spaces that you're going to design, and of course the layout of furniture, and of course do also consider your activities at all times and what you want to do. I guess that's it. This is just a thing that you could start out with this sketching if you're stuck during the first stages of this, trying to figure it out. Somehow this can give you like a direction on what to do. And of course, do remember that the first set of exercise of your dream bedroom was a practice, and do apply what you've learned there into this project. So again, see you next time. Hopefully this helped out. Bye.